Hi, this is the help video for PowerPoint Chapter 1, Pause and Practice Number 2. We already have the file opened and named to the proper name, so we can move down to Step 3. What we're going to do in 3, 4, and 5 is we're going to work with the theme of this PowerPoint presentation. Right now it looks pretty blah, right? So one of the easiest ways to spice this up and make it look more professional is to go to the Design tab and select a theme. And just like we saw in Word and Excel, you can have an overall theme, and then you can break out the components of color palette, font, special effects, and in PowerPoint you could do background style. In PowerPoint though, rather than having them as separate little buttons, they're under this variant group. So the first thing we're going to do is select the theme that we want. And so the theme for the overall presentation is this facet, right? So it's got these kind of green angled areas, and it's applied, should be applied to all of them. I'm not quite sure why that happened. So you just want to make sure they're applied to all of them. Now we want to change it a little bit by changing the color. So we're going to go to the variant group and open up the more, and you can see the breakdown here: color, font, effects, and then background style. First thing we want to do is colors, and we're going to come over here and go all the way, scroll all the way to the bottom. It's called aspect, and all of our slides should change that bright green to kind of an orange and burgundy or rust colored. And so that's pretty nice, but it could still be a little more impactful, and that would be if you come back up to variants and do background style. So do you see how all this background is white? If we change that to this style 4, and you can move through and see which ones you like, but the one we want to choose for this is style 4. That dark black background really makes the slides very powerful. All right, so then we want to change the theme fonts. So we're going to click on that font, come over here and find Trebuchet MS, and it changes all of our fonts. So we pretty much have the background set up, and now what we want to do is start working with the slide 1. So on slide 1, we want to select the placeholder, and I want you to notice, do you see how it's like a dotted line right now? That means I have selected the object and the container, and I'm inside it. So do you see how my insertion point? So at this point I could select individual things. I want to make a change to the whole container. So I'm going to click on that line again, and do you see how it becomes a solid line? And I don't have my blinking insertion point anymore, because whatever action I'm taking is going to happen to the whole slide. So I want to go home. I want to make it 60 points. You'll see it growing. I want to make it bold, and I want to align left. Now that align left is making it left with inside this container. Now if we go to B, we want to come over here to drawing, arrange. And so that's one of the things you want to really watch. There's an align that's in the arrange that's talking about the container, and then this in paragraph is aligning things within the container. So just watch that when you're doing your work and your test, which it's talking about. So when it's talking about arrange, then you're going to go to this drawing group, arrange, align, align top, and look at what happens. It takes that, take the right step, and it moves it all the way to the top. Then if we look at 6C, select the word right. So right now I have that solid line. So I have to click. It changes to the dotted line and I have my insertion point. So now I can double click or click and select and just get the word right. We want to do the same thing we did in Word, where we come to this little AA on the Home tab in the font group that changes case and make it uppercase. Once we do that, we get it wraps because it can't fit in there anymore, and we're going to size that so it moves back. Okay, so to size it, I'm going to go to this right sizing handle here and just drag it until, right, see how it pops out. So just do it so it fits on one line. Okay, so that's our title. We now want to look at step 7, and that's working with this subtitle. So once again, I've clicked it. See, I've got the insertion point, I've got the dotted line, so it's not selected the whole thing. I'm going to click on that line again, get the solid line. I'm going to make this 36, bold, align left. So train for a marathon is aligned left within the container. We now want to move this so it's below the title. So we're going to click and drag it so it's up here. And then do you see the little guides? So try and use that to place it. It's not, we're going to work on it a little bit. So now we want to select both of them. And so I do Shift and select the title. So the title and the subtitle are both selected. I want to go to Arrange, Align, Align, Left. Mine was already pretty good. Okay. So let's take a second and save. And we're going to move on to step number 8, changing the bullet. So we're going to go to slide 2 and select the bulleted text. And then up here in the bullets, in the paragraph group, we're going to do the down arrow. We're going to select bullets and numbering. We want to change the size to 100%. So the bullet will be the same size as the text. And then we want to customize. So once we customize, we're going to get this, and we're going to select wingdings. So I'm going to click on that and find wingdings. We want to select the black square, and usually in these instructions it gives you the character code. So I actually saw the black square here, but if you didn't, you could come right down here and just type 110 and it would bring you to that, so you don't have to spend your time scrolling. We're going to go ahead and do OK and OK, and it changed it to an orange square. So now if we're looking at this, we realize that or should not be a bullet. It's just beat the times you've run or finish the marathon. These are the bullets. This is just the or. So put your cursor at the beginning of the O in or and just do a backspace. It'll delete that. And we now want to select the word or and make it bold. Let's see if I got all this. Backspace. Oh. Okay, so the last thing we want to do on this pause and practice is to select a slide footer that's going to appear at the bottom of every slide. So we want to go to Insert. That's where we go to Header Footer. And on the Insert, over here at Text, there's a Header Footer area. We're going to click on that, and notice we have slide and notes and handouts. So you could have 2 different headers and footers based on what you're printing out of your slideshow. So to include the slide number and the footer, and we want the footer to say, take the right steps, comma, train for a marathon. We do not want to show this on the title slide, but we want to show it on the remaining slides. So we check the don't show on title slide. We're going to apply, and then we're going to press the, select the take the right steps, press and hold the shift and come over here and select the page number. And we're going to make those both 18 so they're a little more readable. All right, thank you. Save this and we'll be ready for pause and practice 1-3. Thank you.